Right then, hello, good evening, and welcome, good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you happen to be. My name is Paul, I'm slightly thirsty, and I'm the brains behind Nik Nak's Daily Teaser. It's a fun set of daily brain teaser quizzes, basically. You might have seen them floating around. I also talk about movies I've watched. I saw Dune the other night, which is bloody fantastic. And I also talk about TV shows I've watched. Just recently I've been watching Lovecraft Country. I'm watching the next episode this coming Tuesday. Keep your eyes peeled for my video review of that. But tonight I was going to not do a video review. I was actually going to watch the premiere episode of Doctor Who's 13th series and then tell you about it tomorrow night. My plans have actually changed a little bit because it took me a lot less time to do my script for this video and the written post it's based on. It took me a lot less time to do that, so I'm doing my video review and my written view tonight. Yes, that makes sense, doesn't it? At least I hope so. At any rate, tonight I've watched the first episode of Series 13 of Doctor Who. The series is going to be 6 linked episodes of a series that's calling itself Doctor Who Flux. And tonight I saw Chapter 1. Chapter 1 of Doctor Who Flux, the Halloween Apocalypse, opens with Yaz, Mandip Gill, and the Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, hanging upside down from a gravity bar after being captured by a Lupari called Carvanista. Hanging from a gravity bar upside down over an acid ocean on a planet that's going to be destroyed any minute now by an exploding star. The pair escape after a struggle with the handcuffs and manage to fall into a TARDIS set up with a force field and a mattress, but unfortunately a TARDIS that seems to be oozing and whose doors, whose main external doors, seem to be moving around the wall. With Yaz's help, though, the Doctor plots a course back for Earth, which Carvanista has told them only has hours left. Meanwhile, with all that going on, in 1820 Liverpool, we see 2 men arguing over tunnels being built in what's then a brownfield site on the edge of the city, which, when confronted by his superior, the head builder, Mr. Williamson, admits he's preparing for something catastrophic. 201 years later, we see Dan, John Bishop, the new boy on the team, giving a tour of Liverpool Museum, much to the mild annoyance of his friend Diane, who actually works at the museum and has to escort this unexpected volunteer off the premises. Dan heads home after promising Halloween drinks with Diane later. Back in the TARDIS, the Doctor and Yaz are still trying to head to Earth when the Doctor receives a sudden, very unexpected vision of a mysterious imprisoned being called the Swarm that successfully escapes from an apparently long imprisonment, killing its humanoid captors in the process. We swap from that back to Dan, who is heading home after helping at a food bank and dealing with trick-or-treaters. The first 2 are no problem. One's a set of school kids, sweet to go-go. The second is a drunk, who's slightly less friendly than the kids. But the third one that takes up, it takes Dan a little while to realise that Carvanista of the Lupari isn't a man in an especially convincing suit. Now, what did I think of this episode? What did I think? Was it good? Was it stunning? Was it super? Was it lovely? Was I thinking that Carvanista looked slightly like a Yorkshire Terrier? Well, that's possibly debatable there, but yes, I did. He looks a bit like a little yappy Yorkie Terrier. Apart from that one minor flaw, what did I think of the episode? The first thing I know, like I said in the opening part of this video, is that unlike earlier series of the revived Doctor Who, the 2005 Doctor Who Flux is going to be something like the classic era stories. It's going to be one overarching story spread over 6 episodes. It's going to be a serial, in other words, rather than a series. Which is what the New Who's mostly been. It's been a series of individual episodes. It's something akin to Time and Arani, if you want to look at it that way, or Evil of the Daleks, or Galaxy 4, to give you some examples. It's going to be a serial story, but with longer individual episodes than, say, season 1 or 2 of the new series, which are discrete episodes with an occasional mention of Bad Wolf, Torchwood, what have you. In the new series context, I would assume, or I'm guessing here slightly, that puts this series on a par with The Key to Time or Trial of a Time Lord, which were individual serials with an overarching story to them. The Key to Time, you've probably seen it if you're a fan, tells us about the key to time. The Doctor has to reassemble a key to save the universe. Trial of a Time Lord, he's put on trial, and each of the stories is part of his defence or part of his prosecution's case. Something else I noticed, it seemed to me that the Halloween apocalypse is a little more cohesive than episodes in Chibnall's first series. It seems a little better done. It's better plotted. It has sparkier dialogue. It introduces us seemingly to elements that are going to be developed over the course of the series. It's, well, I don't know what I could say, but it looks better quality. That's possibly partly where I think Chibnall has got better at being Doctor Who's showrunner. But I'm also assuming that having Nikki Wilson as the co-executive producer, he's mentioned in the opening credits, I'm assuming that let Chris Chibnall delegate some of the showrunner role to concentrate on writing the episode. You tell me what you think. I'd appreciate hearing that. The episode itself is something I found both intriguing and exciting and interesting. John Bishop's Dan. He's a very capable everyman character. He's also somebody who's going through a rough time as we were introduced to him. He politely refuses help from a food bank he's working at. He cheekily tries to ask his friend Diane for a job, as another example. So he's having it rough. It's subtly done. It's shown, not told to us. It's not in your face, which I think worried people a lot in Chibnall's first year. Given we've got one less companion, Tosin Cole and Bradley Walsh have been effectively replaced by just one person. That means Yaz certainly had a little more to do in this episode. She seems to have picked up, or the character of Yaz has picked up some of the basics of flying the TARDIS, and she's had a lot more to do during this episode, it seemed to me. So all credit to Andy Gill for picking up on the job, and well done to her and to Chris Chibnall for focusing on her. That was very much needed, I think. So that's good to see in terms of characters. There's also intrigue as well. Who is the Swarm? Who was he imprisoned by? What's his connection to the Doctor? I'm assuming the division mentioned in the last season, in season 12, have been mentioned for a reason. They seem still to parallel the old Celestial Intervention Agency that got mentioned way back in The Deadly Assassin. It's a good idea and it's well used, I think, because it gives us a suitably nasty group of Time Lords that can take the blame for stuff and order you to do something. It's a villainous group of Time Lords. It's a dirty tricks department that we can sort of boo and hiss. We've also got no idea who the mysterious Claire is. She's played by, and I'm going to get this surname wrong. It's played by the character's played by Annabelle Sholey or Scully, I think it is. All we know about her is that she's met the Doctor before. The Doctor's got no memory of her, so I'm assuming she's met the Timeless Child incarnations of the Doctor, but we don't know who she is or where she knows the Doctor from. Quite what the Sontarans are going to be doing, either, we don't know. They're in the next episode. They're in episode 2, War of the Sontarans, but we've got a little bit of a mention of them in this episode. There was one Sontaran reporting to his superior from the psychic espionage department, and that one was Kurgan, something along those lines was the character's name, but I recognised him straight away. It's Dan Starkey giving the new designers Sontaran an airing. You can't do Sontarans without having Starkey crop up doing his human scum thing. It's good to see him in there, I think, even though it is a slightly awkward new design. The episode's climax, I'll try not to give too much away, but the episode climax sees the crew facing the complete, total, utter destruction of the universe in a way that not even the Doctor can fight, which is nice for a first episode. At any rate, I've given this 4 stars on my usual rating, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've given it 4 stars. That's the best score I can give something on that, and I hope you agree with me if you've seen the episode. At any rate, I'm going to be back next week. I'm going to probably do what I normally do with TV shows, watch the episode, write the review the next day. Hopefully, I'll see you next Monday, and you can tell me what you think of what I thought. Have a good week. Take care. I'll see you Sunday for Doctor Who. I'll see you Tuesday for Lovecraft Country. Have a good week.